Good afternoon, everybody. Meteorologist Dontae Jones here in the Dick Goddard Weather Center to talk about this strong low pressure system that's coming through our area. And as it does, there are a few things that we got to talk about. Some inclement weather coming our way just in time for the evening rush and through the overnight. I'd really say the overnight's looking okay. It's this evening and then tomorrow are the biggest concerns. And the biggest concern is the wind. So I'd say the secondary concern is probably the evening rush, where we'll have not only the wind gusts that are going to increase, but we'll also have the slippery roadways for some rain and snow in there, just kind of making it. And some folks, let's just be honest, some folks drive crazy even when it's inclement weather and it's kind of rain and snow and wet pavement. And then add in the gusty winds on top of that with some higher profile vehicles kind of swaying back and forth. Even your vehicle at times, you're gonna have to have the two hands on the wheel because the wind is blowing. So it's just one of those things. That's the secondary concern, but the big concern, the gusty winds, which could cause some sporadic power outages. Maybe even, I don't know if there's a word in between sporadic and scattered, so somewhere like right there. Because even if you think last storm system that we had the power outages, we had some trees down here and there. That's another concern with this system that's coming through. All right, let's get out. Let's talk about it. Let me show you the graphics and dive into the details. The National Weather Service, earlier, they were talking, most of us were in the wind advisory, and that's about 50, maybe 55 mile an hour wind gusts. And even that, again, like last storm, when we were in the wind advisory, caused some damage and some power outages. But then, because this low pressure system that's coming through is a very strong low pressure system, so it has a lot of wind with it, they've upped it to where those in the dark brown there, if that's the color that is, we're looking at 60 mile an hour gusts there. And so that's a high wind warning. And then those a little further south and east, places like Trumbull County, Mahoning, Columbiana, Stark, Carroll, Tuscarora's, Holmes, that's the wind advisory there. So those counties could see wind gusts up to about 50 miles an hour, maybe 55. But then a 60 mile an hour gusts where you see the darker stuff. So that is power outage possible to likely right there. So serve this as your warning to charge all your devices now. So if you're listening to me, let's say on your phone, you're sitting at home, or you're watching me rather, sitting at home or sitting in your office or what have you, go ahead and charge the phone there. If you have your charger with you, just go ahead and plug it in. Any tablets or anything around the house, if you have several chargers or what have you, go ahead and charge them now. One of our producers, before she left, she said, I'm going to have to turn my heat up in my house just in case if the power goes out, at least you still have a little bit of heat trapped in there, instead of, if you're comfortable at, say, 65, 66, 67, maybe be uncomfortable for a minute and turn your heat up for just a bit, just in case the power does go off as these winds pick up. And again, it's 4 o'clock this afternoon until 1 o'clock in the morning, Saturday night, Sunday morning, however you want to say that, because there are times that those winds will get to howling and gusting. Overnight tonight, they'll die down. But then during the day again tomorrow, they'll pick back up. And we'll go through that. We'll time that out for you. But we're going to take our time with this, by the way. I know some folks, we read the comments at times to see if there are any questions and things that we need to focus on, whether it's on social media or on air, because we see reoccurring questions or themes and questions or what have you. And I know some of you out there like to just get to the forecast already. Just tell us what this is why we do this, so we can take our time and explain to you what's going on. Because on TV, we only got 3 minutes, and we push you to the app, and we push you to the web, and we push you to things like this, where you can digest the information a little bit more slowly. So again, if you're one of those that just want to get to the meat of the forecast and say, hurry up, go over to fox8.com. We got the weather section over there, the forecast discussion, where you can read at your leisure and get straight to the graphics and straight to I also put something on the Fox 8 Weather Facebook page as well. Now that I'm done with the new news, I have a little bit better chance to kind of update things and what have you quickly, because then I got to start forecasting, getting updated information for the 4 o'clock news. We do news all day long here at Fox 8. All right, so here's the big system that's coming through Ohio now. You'll notice, of course, the colder air up north and the colder air not only up north. It's all, by the way, my digital producer also said that the website is also linked here on the Facebook Live. So you can go into the link there and it'll take you straight to the forecast, just in case you don't have the time to kind of sit and watch this. You can go straight there and it'll give you what's going on. But thank you, Celeste, for that. So the storm is coming. It's the precipitation. It's here already. Mansfield seeing some snow showers, probably wet snow showers too, because it's kind of mixed in with the higher temperatures. We're not in the 20s, we're in the 30s, so that we hold a little bit more moisture when the temperatures are higher. Then we got a cold rain, if you will, in places like Erie and Huron counties, down towards Holmes County, Port Clinton, seeing a rain-snow mix up there, Sandusky and Seneca County, seeing some rain showers as well. So that's moving in our direction. So we're going to get that during the evening rush where the pavement's going to be wet, and then the winds are going to start gusting as well as this low pressure gets closer and closer towards us. So that's what's on the way. Be careful if you do have to drive out here this evening. What I will say is just kind of take it easy. Leave yourself some extra time. You don't want to get yourself into a situation where you have to rush, you're running late somewhere here or there. Just leave yourself some extra time just in case. The pavement's wet, the winds are going to be gusting. The high profile vehicles are going to be swaying back and forth. You may sway back and forth. And so you don't want to get yourself into a situation where you got to weave back and forth between cars. Someone's going slow, what have you. Just leave yourself a few extra minutes, put on a good CD or podcast or what have you, and just take it easy. And I'm not trying to preach to anybody, but you don't want to find yourself in an accident. You'll be probably happier if you do that and say, Dontae's a dork, but I'll go ahead and listen to him, so that you don't find yourself in an accident and then that ruins your day more than someone driving slow in front of you. All right, so here are the temperatures in the upper 30s, lower 40s right now. So it doesn't feel bad. What's happening is that sometimes these weather systems, we get a warm front, and so they bring their own warm air. We call it warm air advection under the warm front. And so it's bringing its own warm air. And of course, this time of year, warm air is going to be 30s and 40s as opposed to teens and 20s. So it's bringing its warm air. So temperature is going to be rising into the 40s here. So this is about where we'll be. And so that's why some of us started off as snow as temperatures were in those mid 30s. But then as that warm front lifts, then we start to bring the temperatures into the upper 30s and lower 40s. And so we switch to rain showers. So that's what's happening there. So in Mansfield, where we saw, let me just switch back real quickly, kind of explain that. So in Mansfield, where you're seeing, say, that snow or rain snow mix, because that temperature is kind of right on that line where you're seeing that mix of precip over towards Rush Creek as well, up towards Toledo. But then as that warm front lifts, that switches over to a rain snow mix and then to rain. And then you'll see that with the Futurecast, that's what'll happen as well. All right, so the wind direction right now, it's just breezy to regular gusty right now, if we can use regular gusty as a term. But winds are coming in out of the southeast because the area of low pressure, winds go counterclockwise around that. So that area of low pressure is off to the east, off to the west. So the winds are coming in out of the east-southeast, wrapping around that area of low pressure. Main point to that is that until we get that low pressure away from us and up to the north, we're going to continue to see this east-southeast flow. So if you're traveling, say, along 77, 71, and the like, those north-south facing highways, then you're going to have the crosswinds there. So the wind will be with you if you're traveling, say, 90 or 480 at times, especially out west. But even if you're traveling along 90, say, in Ashtabula and Lake in Cuyahoga counties, the wind's still going to be crossways to you. So just a heads up that you're going to face that throughout the course of the evening time. Again, right now, winds are light compared to what's coming. winds out of the east-southeast sustained about 15 to 20 miles an hour, or 10 to 20 miles an hour. And every now and again, we get a gust up there of about 30, 35 miles an hour at times. So you're already seeing the effects of the winds, even if you're probably going to be driving. The wind every now and again may kind of push the car close to one side of the lane or the other. The wind chills, it's going to feel a little chillier only because, we got gusty winds and the temperatures are in the 30s and 40s. So it feels like it's 29 in Mansfield. So kind of cold there. 26 in Toledo, where they're seeing the snow showers, is what it feels like. And then lower to mid 30s just about everywhere else. Now the wind gusts, again, they're going to start to peak up here just in time for the evening rush and into prime time. So if you're going to spend an evening on the town out and about, that really is going to be for you, because we got the rain snow mix that's moving through, and then the cold rain, and then we got the gusty winds too. So just a heads up. And then it subsides as we get into the overnight, where the gusts are only about 30, 35 miles an hour, like what we're seeing right now. And then look at tomorrow. They gust up again up to the 50, 55, 60 miles an hour. That's in the morning through the early part of the afternoon, and then at times through the evening as well. Now this here, whenever we give 1 point forecast, it's usually for the main big city. So this is for Cleveland, but there are other communities that can see wind gusts higher than that. Even Cleveland, this is just a forecast like any other forecast, where we may forecast that it'll be 70 degrees, but because of sunshine and dry soil, it may get to 75. So same here. This is a forecast, but the forecast also calls for there are points and times throughout the day that we could get those 55 and 60 mile an hour gusts anywhere in those brown areas. All right, so this came through just before noon. So I made this graphic really quick before we get on the air. So the things on the left, the little bullets, don't line up with the actual text. That's what happens when there's kind of breaking news and you got to get it in there. The Ohio Turnpike, by the way, is banning high-profile vehicles from midnight to 6 tomorrow evening. So midnight tonight until 6 o'clock in the evening tomorrow, no high-profile vehicles. So that, of course, are your 18-wheelers, like your U-Haul trucks, FedEx trucks, things like that. Any of those things that have big cargo things. I don't believe it would include SUVs and the like, but it is on our website, fox8.com. It's written up there in detail of what that all means. And again, that's because the winds are gusting up to about 60 miles an hour at times. And then into effect as well, we're going to see some snow showers too that will start to accumulate in some areas. So it's just treacherous travel there, as is on the graphic. All right, here's the temperature and wind chill throughout the rest of the day. So again, look at that. Temperatures into the 40s because of that warm air advection underneath the warm front. So that's why we start off as snow, where we're in the 30s here, and then switches over to rain when the temperatures rise above that level of not necessarily freezing, because it still snows when it's above 32, but when it rises above that threshold of switching over from snow to rain in the upper 30s there. But it'll feel like we're in the 30s, even though we're in the 40s because of the gusty winds. So it'll be a chilly night, chilly evening if you're going out, especially when the winds really start to gust. And then you got the rain-snow mix coming down and then the rain coming down as well. So it'll be an inclement evening if you are headed out. So just a heads up there. This is probably the biggest risk right here with this storm system because it is so strong. And you'll remember, if you were watching us earlier this week and we were showing you, I think at one point there were 10,000 power outages across the state. And then we had trees coming down on people's cars and people's property and what have you. And those wind gusts were about 45, 50, 55 miles an hour at times. So when we're talking 55, 60 mile an hour gusts over the course of about a day and a half, that can happen again. So just a heads up, the biggest threat here is the gusty winds with power outages, as well as some damage here and there. And I wish there was something between sporadic and scattered that I could say, because I think that sporadic outages, I think we'll see a little more if this verifies. If we see kind of widespread 60 mile an hour gusts here and there, I think we could see a little bit more than sporadic power outages. So that's why at the top of the live here, I said make sure you just charge your devices now, just in case you lose that power and you don't know how long you can get it back. Remember, even when thunderstorms come through here in the summertime and in the spring, and to bring those gusty winds of 50, 60, 70-mile-an-hour wind gusts and what have you, and so we end up without power sometimes for hours and some people for days and what have you. So in a case like this, it's the wind that gets us and that causes the power outages and some of the damage. So if there are things that are outside, trash cans, untied down furniture that you just kind of leave out there all year round, things like that, you probably want to bring those in. And I just thought about something that outside on my little stoop or whatever, I have a chair. It's a little plastic chair that I have sit out there. So that's probably going to be down in somebody else's yard. I can probably think now because I forgot to bring that in. And so that's why, as I remember some of these things, I tell you so that you're not like me and your stuff is blown and strewn about. So take it from me, who did not remember and follow my own advice and forgot to bring it in this morning before I came in. All right, so here's the futurecast. So we're already seeing this take place. Now, this model says that it believes that temperatures are going to be cold enough by the time we get to 5 o'clock that we're going to see all snow showers. I don't know if that's necessarily going to verify. We're already seeing temperatures in the upper 30s and lower 40s, and they're only going to rise from here. So what I'm going to say about this in particular is that this may be snow/rain snow mix. So I don't think we'll see a lot of accumulation, if we see any, with this onset of precipitation. So look at that at 5 o'clock here as a rain snow mix as opposed to all snow. But the general trend is, which I jive with and agree with, is that the temperatures do warm enough in the evening that switches over into just all rain. So there's 8:30, temperatures are going to be in the 40s, going to be gusty winds coming in out of the south now. And so definitely folks who are traveling on east-west highways are going to be impacted. 76, 90, 480, and even at times 71. 77, the wind's going to be at your back if you're traveling north, and then facing the wind if you're traveling south. And that's, again, 8:30 tonight. And then by the time we head towards the overnight, we're quieter. Not to say that you can't see a renegade flurry here or there, but we are quieter as far as precipitation goes, and the winds subside a little bit. But notice the winds are slowly starting to turn. We're out of the southwest now. And then by tomorrow, throughout the day, winds coming in out of the west-southwest, and we got scattered snow showers around because the temperatures now are colder as we get into the overnight and into the day on Saturday. So on and off again, snow showers. Notice there's no real widespread snow. It's just on and off again, hit or miss scattered snow showers. As we go through the evening, that snow, instead of becoming widespread, it tapers to more of a lake effect theme. So notice those folks up in the snow belt there, they're seeing much more in the way of the snow showers. Even into Sunday, most of us are dry. This model says Sunday afternoon, we may even break out a little bit of sunshine, wind subsiding some on Sunday as well. But look there at Lake in Ashtabula counties, just north of 90, right along the lake shore. We're still seeing lake effect flurries, lake effect snow showers right there on the lake, and even into early Monday morning. But most of us are dry. So when you factor that in, they're going to see the bulk of the snowfall, and I'll show you that in a second. So the rain that we get coming in this evening, not going to be overly impressive. Anywhere around a half an inch. On average, around a half an inch of rain is what we'll see. But the snow, so when you look at the on and off again scattered snow showers that we'll see throughout the day, tomorrow, tonight into tomorrow, most of us dusting to maybe an inch and a half, so it's not overly impressive there at all. But in the snow belt, where we continue to see the lake effect snow showers, they're about 2 to 4 inches there, with some of those higher terrains, higher elevations, maybe about 5 inches in Chardon is what this futurecast is saying. So the usual suspects there, the snow belt seeing the lion's share of any snow. Again, most of us, not impressive. A dusting to about an inch and a half for most of us. There's some higher totals out west there, where they're closer to the center of the low, and so the temperatures there, as well as the moisture, is really centered just to the west and north of Ohio, and so over towards that general direction, Port Clinton, Fremont, Tiffin, per Sandusky. You could probably get 2-3 inches over there. But everybody else here, really minor amounts. So not going to be a big snowmaker at all on Saturday. Again, the snow belt will probably see the lion's share. So just again to reiterate that, because again, the comments on social media, let's say you're in Akron and you're not really paying attention to the forecast and you say, oh yeah, we may get some snow, and you are, here it is, Saturday night, and you don't really see much, maybe something on grassy surfaces, that's about it. You're like, oh, those meteorologists don't know what they're talking about. They're wrong again. They say we're going to get snow. No, we're not going to get a whole lot. And some of you may not even get the dusting on grassy surfaces. It's hit or miss. It's just hit or miss. And this is a model projection. And I'll go back and I'll just kind of replay the futurecast again for you, just so you understand. We're all about making sure you understand. Here's Saturday. It's just hit or miss scattered snow showers here and there. Let's just take Mansfield, for example. If we go to Mansfield, and I'm going to back this up again, let's just say this is going to be spot on the money. Let's just assume this is spot on the money. Mansfield, you'll get snow at 7 in the morning there or so, and it may last until 8:30 in the morning. And that may, depending on how heavy that is, that might not even do anything. You just see snow falling from the ground. Here's a heavier band that comes in 10:30 in the morning, and that lasts a good portion. So that lasts till 2:30. So let's say that may put down an inch or so. Let's say that does. But then you don't really see anything else after that. Maybe a little bit there Saturday evening, but that may not put down a whole lot. So there you go. You may get about an inch or so out of that, and then nothing else. But if you take another location, let's say Cleveland, for example, we back this up, and starting Saturday morning, you're dry until, let's say, right there, about 11 in the morning, where you start to see some flurries here, and then there's some skirting the lake shore right there. We see some snow showers there. That's 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and then you get another band come in about 3 o'clock in the afternoon there, and then another one at 5 o'clock, and then another one here at 6 o'clock, and so when it's all said and done, Cleveland may have a different total than Mansfield or so. So it just depends. It just depends. They're widely scattered. What this model is saying, though, is that those bands that will go over Mansfield are going to be heavier bands of snow, and they're going to come more frequently. And so Mansfield will have the potential of seeing 4.5 inches of snow. So just take a look at this, and this is just the model projection, again, of who could see what. About an inch in New Philly, 1.5 inches in Canton, Medina, almost 2 inches, Norwalk, 2.5 inches, Tiffin, 2.7 inches, Cleveland, 1.5 inches. Again, higher terrain in Chardon, 5 inches. And if you end up, let's say you're in Chardon and you end up getting 3.5 inches as opposed to 5.5 inches, I think the only people who would complain are those who really love the snow. I'm talking to you, Jen Harcher, my colleague and friend here at Fox 8. She loves the snow. She's ready to break out the skis and the snowboard and ready to have fun. Folks like her will be upset. Like, I want my 5.5 inches. If I can't have my 12 inches, I'll take the 5.5, but give me that. Don't jip me any inches. But again, this is the model projection that there's not going to be a whole lot of snowfall for us out of this one. But the good news, if you're wanting snowfall, is that we're now starting to trend colder. So there's a better chance that if we get clipped by any systems, that it'll fall as snow as opposed to a rain-snow mix or a cold rain. But the bad news is, in the 8-day forecast, there's not a whole lot of chance for you to get a lot of snow. But there is some. But there are some chances. We'll go to that in a second. All right, so today, rain-snow mix, gusty winds, gusts up to 45 miles an hour, widespread. And then as we get into the evening hours, that's when they gust up to the 55, 60 miles an hour. So that today is just for up until about 4 or 5 o'clock. And then after 5 o'clock, then we can see the higher gusts. Tonight, that's where we put in the evening. Gusts up to 55 miles an hour, a few flurries, colder and gusty, 27. And then here's the 8-day forecast. Scattered snow showers again for Saturday, 29. By the way, it's going to feel like we're in the teens tomorrow. So a heads up there that it is going to be cold. So if you are going out, it's going to be snowy and cold and gusty, wind chills in the teens. Just a wintry day tomorrow. And then Sunday, the wind's back off. Lake effect flurries around, 20 degrees. 13 from Saturday night to Sunday, and then 9 degrees from Sunday into Monday. Only 16 degrees on Monday, mostly cloudy skies there. Still going to be breezy. So we got wind chills at times throughout the day, Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday, where we are about 5 below zero. So heads up. Even into Tuesday and Wednesday. Tuesday 18, 4 Tuesday night into Wednesday 21, and then we get a balmy mid-20s, 26, 24 as we get into Thursday and Friday. There's your next best chance for snow, Thursday and Friday, if you are a snow lover. With that system right now, I don't think much in the way of accumulation, but we always got to watch it because that's a long ways away. That's like 8 days away. So, I'm keeping my fingers crossed for those of you who want the snow, that you can get a good system that'll come through and give you at least 6+ inches of snow. I'm keeping my fingers crossed for you. But right now, in the 8-day forecast, that's not looking likely. But if you like to ski, you like to get out to the resorts, good news is, not only are you getting a little bit of snow to help out with that, but things are turning colder so that they can make the snow and it sticks. So that's the good news for you. So again, just to recap real quickly, the big story, the big moral of the story this evening and tomorrow are the winds. Winds gusting from 50 to 60 miles an hour, causing some damage like trees and things like that, and power outages. Then the secondary is the rain-snow mix, inclement weather this evening during the evening rush, along with the gusty winds, which could cause some accidents if you're not careful. If everybody's driving okay and driving fine, we should be fine. No real reports of accidents or what have you. But if there's some knuckleheads out there, then we'll be reporting on that as well. So big story, gusty winds. Secondary big story, the rain snow mix and the gusty winds for the evening commute. Then some snow showers tomorrow, typical winter. Most of us will see light accumulation, if any, dusting to about an inch, inch and a half. But the snowbelt regions and those out west, closer to the center of the low, you could pick up about 2 to 4+ inches of snow. All right, so I am going to get the web updated, record a fresh clickable as well. Again, for those of you who just want to get straight to the meat of the forecast, and then forecast for the 4 p.m., 5 p.m., 6 p.m., 7 p.m., 10 p.m. newscast with my friends Andre Bernier. He hates it when I say Bernier. Andre Bernier and Mackenzie Bart join me for the evening newscast. Until then, make it a great afternoon and a great weekend, everybody. We'll see you at 4 o'clock. By the way, if the plane goes down, miles